Hello and welcome to day number 26 of StarLadder Season 6. It is day number 26, as I said. It is game number 1 of a day where we see, well, we see 6 games in total, but there are 7 games. There's actually, for the first time this season, there is an overlapping game here. For people that were here Tuesday, they might have realized that Empire got a def win against Fnatic. That game still will be played today, and we'll actually see that one still in action. So for now though, we're gonna see Mousesports twice in a row. The last 2 games that Mousesports has in StarLadder StarSeries, and it is today that is the deciding day for them, but it's not entirely up to them how they do. If they win both, that's great, but if KP wins their remaining 2 matches, they're gonna be even with them. If Quantic wins their remaining match, they're gonna be even. Like, they're gonna have a 3-way tie, and that's not gonna be something that they want to have. 3-way tie for 1 slot. 2 slots in total, actually, just saying. 4 people, of course, go to Kiev. The top 4 go. KP and Alliance already going through. So, basically, Mousesports, KP, and, VP and Alliance go through. So, KP, Mousesports, as well as Quantic, have a chance still to pick up those remaining 2 slots. It's just depending on how they do, and then maybe a tiebreaker. Perhaps. We are not alone, though. Like, the draft's going on. We are here with a K-poptosis, who is our statsman for today. You won't hear him or see him, but you'll see what he does. And the one that you will hear, it is Vykromond. Good morning to you.
Hey Sheever, how you doing?
I seem to be a bit off my game.
That's okay.
10 seconds.
But we are gonna have a game, the first game in the entire season. OsG Gaming uses a stand-in.
Oh, that's true. And it's a fairly well-known player, Big Gnome. He's been on a few European professional teams, so
yeah.
At the very least he's been a stand-in. So who's he? He's standing in for
Alba.
Alba, yeah. Who's actually their captain, I think. So
yeah,
that's
I think so too. And he normally plays support. Big Gnome, though, he normally plays like when he was standing in for well, maybe then it was El Pride, like with Lolik and such. He was playing Chaos Knight most of the time.
10 seconds
remaining. Who knows if we're gonna see him in a carry role here? It all depends on what OsG Gaming have in store for him. It's pretty important match for OsG also, though. Like I just said, that Mousesports kind of can't lose a game because, like, if they're tied with Quantic and KP, like KP already wins for Mousesports, has won earlier for Mousesports, so they're already gonna be ahead there. And so Mousesports has to at least win to hope that they can get something there with a tie and hope that KP losses, for example. But OsG Gaming, they're listed as 15th right now. But there are 3 teams that have 3 wins only. It's Z-Rage, Power Rangers, and OsG Gaming. All 3 teams have got 2 or 3 games left to play. Z-Rage we're gonna see after this one. And the thing is, like, if they win 1 game, they're just 1 step closer, or at least for having to play regulation matches.
Right. They're not automatically relegated as they are if they end up in that 15th slot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely an important game for both teams. Now, do you know if the tiebreaker rules are based on head-to-head? So if Kaipi, so if Kaipi and Mouz are tied, Kaipi would advance as a result of having beaten Mousesports. Okay.
And unfortunately for me, I don't know who won from Quantic and Mousesports. I think it was actually Mousesports, but I can't say for sure.
I think so. Yeah. So that's going to get very complicated, but I guess we don't have to discuss it too much just yet.
No, not yet.
First, we have to see if OsG are able to carry this out. So they do go with the DD style combination.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, the entry and protector is like a godlike drafting here.
Yeah, and especially the first pick Treant as locking him in as early as possible. So OsG, a team that we've actually seen run Treant before, so this is a hero that they're familiar with. It's not just a fashion choice. They actually do like playing it. And then once you've already secured the Treant, Outworld Devourer makes a great pair for him because he just crushes so many mid matchups. There's very few heroes that can actually stand up to the OD in the middle. Almost no intelligence heroes are going to do well. There's some things that you can do. Some people run Nyx Assassin, but obviously Nyx Assassin is banned. Like, you generally, at that point, you can't do anything that spams spells, and you can't do anything that's intelligence-based. Which is not to say Mousesports' lineup isn't strong as well. They have a very strong set of heroes. They have the Gyrocopter in particular. Black has been playing this hero almost even more since 6.78 than before, which is kind of funny. But even with the 10 seconds higher cooldown on Flat Cannon, this is still a hero that's strong early and extremely strong late.
Yeah, very true. And I'm really curious to see what Mousesports gives Fada. to put in that mid lane. We saw them earlier this week with the Aegis Operation solo mid, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe they can do it again. Aegis Operation, I mean, he wants to spam out spells, obviously, and it's still going to be very annoying for him against the OD. But it's not like he relies on his spells to stay alive, like for example a Templar Assassin would. We see a Kunkka and a Queen of Pain getting banned out. I mean, in terms of bans and picks, no real special things banned out here. We see the Visage still getting banned out by Mousesports. In the end, it was the Vengeful Spirit that was a support for StarLadder. But
yeah, the Visage is an interesting ban. It may reflect the possibility some teams will run Treant solo, or actually, sorry. They probably run the Magnus solo, although we have seen a couple Treant solos. Which means that OsG, if they have the Treant as the farmer in the lane, for instance, could use another support like a Visage. But regardless, the Kunkka actually is a really good ban, because Kunkka, a hero that isn't really dependent on spamming that what the hell is it called? Torrent. He can just use Tidebringer to play in the lane. It'll actually harass OD more than OD can harass him. So taking that out was a very, very smart move for OsG, just securing this mid lane for themselves even more.
I fully agree, and we see Mousesports having a bit of trouble to decide what they're going to be put up against that. I mean, OD already is, like you said, I mean, he's just a very annoying hero to be up against, regardless of which hero you are, really. But then you also have the living armor to deal with. Like, that's just a tip too much. And Fada, I mean, it's not going to be a fun lane for him regardless. And he'll go end up with a Beastmaster. Now, Beastmaster does kind of want to use his axes a bit to get some more control, but at least he won't die in theory, even if he can't spam out those axes. So he'll get that level 6 and he'll get that roar.
Yeah, it's not true. I don't think Fata dies in this lane unless something very strange happens, like a successful Venge rotation combined with something else.
Yeah, we might actually have Beastmaster against Magnus. I mean, that still could happen.
10
it's possible.
And then OD as a farming hero. It really depends on what they pick up last. Magnus on the offlane, of course, would be one that's more... I don't know. I would expect that more. I like OD mid more than I like Magnus mid in this lineup that OsG has chosen for themselves. They still need either a solo lane, off lane, or a carry. What am I saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. They have a lot of sort of different options that they can go with. Because they already have the OD, and that's a mid option that also has a lot of carry potential, they don't necessarily need another carry, although they'll probably take something like Luna or something, just to give themselves a bit of additional punch power, and considering they have the Vengeful Spirit and the Treant Protector. We've seen some teams run Treant as the pseudo-farmer in the lane as part of a push all-in composition, but OD doesn't contribute to that at all. He's actually a pretty mediocre pusher.
Whoa.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend makes a lot more sense. And the patch isn't in yet, right? So,
right.
Yeah, it's too bad. So there's a patch coming in today to Dota. That's a bug fix patch that actually substantively buffs Shadow Fiend. So right now, Shadow Fiend in Dota 2 compared to Dota 1, if you fire off your 3 Shadow Raises in a row, there's not a cooldown period, but a wind down period between each, where he like lifts his arms, you send the raise out, then he puts his arms down, and then you press it again and he goes up again. You're supposed to be able to, in Dota 1 you can kind of machine gun the Shadow Raises, like you can do them much quicker if you're doing them sequentially. And in today's patch they're bringing that to Dota 2, so he'll be able to much more quickly send out 3 Shadow Raises.
Okay, we will see Big Nom taking on the carry role here indeed. So for StarLadder, they are on the dire side. They are the obvious underdogs in this team, in this matchup for sure. And we're gonna see how they're gonna be doing up against Mousesports, the giants of this matchup. Big Nom on the Shadow Fiend as a stand-in for StarLadder, standing in for Elba, the captain of StarLadder. We have Obi-Wan Banan now taking up the drafting role on the Treant Protector, going for a support role for him. As we have the Vengeful Spirit for Judo, the one that's normally the carry for StarLadder. So taking on a support role here as well. And we will see Slander still in the mid lane, this time on an Outworld Destroyer. And for Brain, the offlane on the Magnus, who is having a bit of an awkward position, but he is hiding himself, as in he is on the wrong side of the tree. And I think and with still having vision of the warding place. So that's important to note.
Yeah. Looking up towards Mouz, we do have Black up on the carry gyrocopter. Then we have Fata in the middle on the Beastmaster. We'll have to see this interaction between the Beastmaster and the OD. Roars might be really dangerous for OD a little later in this game. And then Cinderin supporting on the Leshrac. Pass on the Rubik, and Quakwa on the Darkseer. Right now it looks like they may go for something like a first star holding a smoke on the Rubik.
Yeah, that's
Or they might just support Quakwa on top because they know that Magnus is bottom, and maybe they don't feel like they need to pressure the Magnus too heavily, at least at the very beginning.
Yeah, and 65% win rate since 6.78 for the Train Protector. 40 games for him since the patch, which is indeed quite a lot. And I think Icerock would indeed be pretty happy with that.
It was very belated because it was a while after his buffs that people really started playing around with him.
Yeah, I agree. Even before the patch, it already got a bit more popular there.
Yeah.
As we see Synerin trying to contest the pool here from Obi-Wan. Look at the harassment already coming off, and the creep's definitely not helping there. Living Armor will help him though, and they still managed to get the pool in the end. Of course, you can always vote, by the way. Capital K sensitive. So exclamation mark vote Mouz sports or Mouz with a Z or capital M or OsG, all capitals, in the Twitch chat.
Yep. I really like what's coming through from Mouz here with this aggressive try. Treant Protector is very, very good to bolster your solo lanes. What he's not actually that great at is continuing the fight in the try versus try situation. He's not that strong of a try lane versus try lane hero. Once you actually jump on him, once the battle is joined, Living Armor is not that useful because you chew through the stacks extremely quickly and it doesn't get that additional sort of healing effect over time. And he brings just very little to the actual battle in the lane other than Living Armor. So putting a lot of pressure on him early is, I think, usually the way to go. And so that's why you see Mouz Sports with what might be regarded as a non-traditional tri-lane here with the Darkseer, but it's actually the right thing to do in this circumstance.
Yeah, and by being here as well, they're pressuring the Train Protector and forcing out extra Living Armors on the top lane, and that will of course make sure that the difference for that mid lane and bottom lane is not going to be of any issue anymore. The Living Armor for StarLadder, for example, won't really come as fast. We see Brain very low on life, and he actually pops himself. No Living Armor for him yet either, and that's just a result that Treant got held up top. Can't really spend his attention to other lanes right now.
Yeah, if you're taking damage in multiple lanes, you can only Living Armor one of them at any given time. So, but the really good news for Oslic is, of course, the middle, as we expected, early laning is going to be on balance towards Slander because Beastmaster does rely on Wild Axis to do some of the work for him to get last hits. And right now he only has 22 mana, and his maximum mana is 130. So even if his mana pool... Okay, so see, the regen rune gave him 1 Wild Axis worth of mana.
Yay. You can actually use it twice, luckily for him, if he spams it out fast enough.
That's true.
But yeah, it is still... I mean, like, he will have even less mana right now. Oh, actually, no. A stack disappeared.
Wore off, yeah.
Okay, well...
But still, I mean, it's 15-8 to 11-2, so definitely a good lane for us, like in the middle. Less good here in the top.
In the top lane, yeah. Pass still gonna get that magic missile there. The telekinesis was there, but the splitter there as well. But the edict, Living Armor already charged off, and Obi-Wan bottom running for his life. Here comes Big Dom with the raises, helping out a lot. Pass taking a lot of damage here. Has to be careful. Judo chasing him down. The Surge is there still. Now Judo will be popping off the. Yeah, the cell from Cinder and the ping goes off, but nobody around there anymore, and Judo all by himself. I think we just saw the power of OsG Gamers counter initiate. Of course, the Living Armor was not really that useful, but it was useful enough for Obi-Wan Bottom to get away. Without it, he wouldn't have lived.
Yeah, a lot of grace under pressure from Oslic there. They could easily have given up first blood, and actually they could have given up 2 kills. But this is still a very, very difficult lane on the whole, and there's not much they can do to shore it up. They can't rotate Magnus over, at least not until he's level 6. They're just going to have to sort of grin and bear it, which is difficult on Shadow Fiend, because it's just so incredibly important for Shadow Fiend to be able to get that early farm, to dominate early, and he's not doing it. To the point of he actually got his 2nd rank in Raise just for clashes, rather than the 2nd rank of Necromaster at level 3.
Yeah, it looks like they want to try again, perhaps, open it with the next creep wave coming in. Next group will actually, no. No, they won't go. Past already rotated back. We have Obi-Wan Banon here back as well. Level 2 for him. Of course, without the jungle stack pool, the kills are going to be all that more important because the supports on both sides are not getting anything extra here. In terms of last hits or in terms of farm and / levels in the jungle. So it is the harassment as well as the kills that will happen that will make a difference here. As we see Pass already pulling the lane back. This could be the start of diving something, if they can. Now they'll just make sure that the lanes meet elsewhere. And this is good for Mouse Sports. I just said a lot of stuff about experience. Well, that's not something that OSG is getting at the moment.
Not at all. I mean, they're already facing a developing level deficit in this try versus try, which is not a great situation to be in. Of course, OD, he has his ultimate at this point, so Slander's doing just fine, but he's going to have to carry a lot of the weight here. Probably
Judo,
he's going to go...
trouble, living armor is still there, but this time it's not enough. Koifa might still go down though, one more hit away from dying, there he goes. But Boss still got the first blood. Can they get 2 kills in return? Yes, they can! Can they get 3 is the question. Cinnamon, the last one alive on the side of Mouse Sports on that trial lane, and he is running for it, but he doesn't have boots. He's getting chased by a tree. Leech Sheet will be there. Nice splitters, but Big Nun chasing down, and Judo with the last hit with his wave of Terra level 1.
Kill secured. 30 damage. I
30
mean,
pure damage.
That was great though. Oslick really just good. Every Shadow Raise was in place, and they just immediately countered Mouz. And Mouz, they pushed their advantage too much to the point where it's no longer an advantage after those 3 deaths.
Yeah, you might have gotten the first blood on your support, which is always nice. I mean, you can get some boots, you can get some courier, extra wards, etc. But losing 3 heroes in return for it, of which 2 went to the Shadow Fiend, that's not something that you want to have happen. And by the way, you can tell that I think that Judo bought the courier. Judo, who's sitting with an Invis rune in the mid lane, by the way. He is normally the carry for his team, so he doesn't have any custom wards. And custom courier. He has a donkey.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Awful. I didn't even notice that, but that is atrocious. They should have passed it. You can buy the courier, but give it to somebody else to drop. That's, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah, they lost. It's over, guys.
Yep. They may win the battle, but they've lost the courier war.
The war, yeah. Well, we had some wasted time that on Judo. He picked up that Invis rune, rotated middle, couldn't get anything done with it, and ended up rotating back top. The ward is there to scout him out, though. He's gonna try to pull. Let's see if he gets lucky. In the meantime, the creep wave is entirely back onto the tier 1, so not really any threat yet for StarLadder on the top lane, but they are not getting anything by standing here around here as well, though. So they're just having to get it from this one wave of creeps.
Yeah. I think StarLadder probably a little happier with their farm lane now, but Mouz probably aren't feeling too bad about this game just yet. Fata, frankly, has done pretty well in this lane, considering how annoying lanes against Outworld Devourer are. I mean, he has 31 last hits. He's only a few last hits behind the OD. Of course, the OD has just a extremely large amount of denies, so Fata's been struggling for XP. But it's not like he didn't get 6. He's got the Primal Roar, so he's got a lot of what he needs in this lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering when he will start to try and make something happen with it. Like, you can of course try to kill off that OD, but that's really tough. Because, I mean, you'll just burn your mana and, you know, he can imprison you and he runs.
Exactly. It's definitely very, very tough to actually get the kill, solo at least. And yeah, as K-pop pointed out, OD has started his mechanism. We almost always see mid-ODs these days get the mechanism for their teams, and getting the Buckler first gives you 2 items in combination with the Tranquil Boots that can both proc your passive that gives you mana back. So it's very, very useful on OD to stack these very early clickies, just because until you get so many ranks of Essence Aura, you're not that likely to just be fully sustainable. But with the low mana cost clickies, you can easily get to basically an infinite mana pool.
Clickies. Oh.
Dire's middle tower is
We do have a level 6 up on the brain, by the way, so he has his RP. He can't really do that much to Black farming here. Black is doing really nice. He's got 33 denies, 53 last hits. And I'm actually thinking like, okay, Brain, you're no longer of any use on this bottom lane. You can't stop Black from farming, as we have telekinesis up on Judo. Is in some trouble. Splitter misses though. Cinder not on the mark there, and now they'll try to chase. There comes the stun. Surge on cooldown for a little while longer. Lychee tries to help out. In the meantime, here comes the roar. It's on Big Nun, but they can't chase. Brilliant Splitter is still up on 2 though. But they can't chase. Here comes Brain looking for that RP. Can he find someone? No, he cannot. Or maybe he can now. He could now. Telekinesis puts him back. He's gonna go for it. Gets only 1 though. Cooldown coming down. Black joining the fight. Rocket Barrage and Flat Cannon. Judo goes down. Obi-Wan Banan drops as well. And nobody goes down in return. Never mind. There they go. They drop like flies. It is Black as well as Cinder that end up falling there. 2 for 2 with a brilliant trade for OSG. Can they get more even? Yes, they can. They kill off Fada. StarLadder trying to run here. Gets a vacuum. Is still alive. Triple kill for Big Nun. 4 heroes dead for Mouse Sports. And the only one alive is Puss. And that is not something that you want to rotate your carry all the way top 4. Whoa.
Mouz are really underestimating the Swagger Fiend. Early team fights, that raise damage in concert with just... His auto is very, very good relative to the field at this level. Like, if you take a look, Black does 98 damage. Swagger Fiend does over 130. And then that's not counting the fact that he has maxed Shadow Raise. So that's 900 pre-resist damage that he can throw out, which is AoE, by the way. They really just pursued that fight to the ends of the earth. I mean, Black did get some kills, which was good, and of course Black has the most farm on the map. But that was a big, big giveaway to Oslic when the strength of Mouz's lineup was they prevented Shadow Fiend from farming early. But he just farmed some heroes just now.
Yeah, he is on top of the net worth charge with that. I mean, that was... I personally, I wasn't expecting that, but everybody of Mouz were really low at some point. I'm thinking, well, this is a bit sad for Oslic because they like almost got it, and you often see a team that like almost has it, but then raises came off cooldown again, and everything started all over again, and everybody ended up dying. And only Paz getting away. I mean, that's 4 heroes dead. You used your roar. The roar, of course, not really being able to do anything there. They roared up on Big Num, and he got also the Split Earth up on him, but Living Armor was there, and nobody really followed up anyway. Yeah. So they couldn't do anything with that, and it was just an awkward fight for Mouz to take. They thought they could get ahead with that and crush OsG spirits, but nope. I think they are feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Yep. One issue for them is that I really feel that they need to find some other place for Brain to get some farm. It's maybe not the end of the world if he doesn't get a quick Blink Dagger, but he really needs at least Arcane Boots, if not for the mana return, at least for the mana pool. Like, he only has 364 max mana at level 7 as this Magnus, so he's barely able to skewer in and reverse polarity. He can't even Shockwave on top of that, so... It would be nice if they could at least guarantee enough farm for the Magnus for him to have Arcane Boots. And right now they can't because Black is so far ahead in this lane, 2.5 levels, that if Magnus approaches, he just gets maximum flak cannon harassment and has to leave again.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, they can try to rotate in mid if StarLadder tries to make something happen elsewhere, but as we see now, Mouse Sports has actually left the top lane completely. So they're leaving Big Num to free farm still yet after trying to shut him down, and of course after that last fight not able to do that. And they're gonna try to make something happen here with the Roar. They have the Edict at level 3. They will be taking down the tower. Fortification will help out. No TPs coming in yet for OsG to try and defend this. As we have got past stealing the Astral Imprisonment, which is a really nice one to get. It doesn't even... Tooltip ability Obsidian Destroyer. That's interesting. Roar, StarLadder. Tower still goes down. Brain. Like you said, no mana.
No mana, yeah. If that had procced the Essence Aura, that would have been pretty sick, but unfortunately not. So yeah, Oslic just arriving a little bit late and couldn't get the combo off because of a lack of mana. I mean, the team has no Arcane Boots, so there's not even anybody else to give Magnus mana. He just has to count on Essence Aura lucky procs.
Yeah, I was just a bit confused. The tooltip of the Astral Imprisonment is bugged.
On Rubik?
No, on...
You're totally right, it is.
On StarLadder as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he stole the bugged...
No, you're right. I'll report that later.
Oh well, in the meantime we see Black, he's retreating into the jungle. He can do that. He can't also stand bottom lane because OsG is thinking, well, they 5-man mid tower, we will 5-man bottom tower.
Yeah. It looks like Fata's going... maybe not. No, it looks like he's going Blink. So that's actually pretty smart in this game, I think. If they can catch something like Outworld Devourer out with the Blink initiation, with the Roar, they can probably kill him there, and no OD makes the fight very difficult. Same story for Shadow Fiend, frankly, who's rushing BKB, but BKB won't really make a difference to Primal Roar itself.
Yeah, in the meantime, like, trading towers is all good and nice, but Mouse Sports taking down towers way faster than StarLadder does now. Of course, that is the Edict helping out. And at the same time, there is 4 people here bottom taking the tower, and they're not even taking it yet. They will take it right now, but that took a long time. There were only 3 to 2 people top taking the tower, while they're still past farming mid lane, while Black was still farming in the jungle. And this is kind of like OsG is losing a bit of ground here. The TP's coming towards the top lane. They look to be wanting to fight. And Mouse Sports already backing off, and they weren't with all of them to begin with.
Yeah. The fact is that it's very difficult for Oslic to put themselves in a position of trading towers because their push is aggressively mediocre, I would say, compared to the fact that Mouz, of course, have the Leshrac. He's got rank 3 Diabolic Edict. They've got Inner Beast to buff the attack speed of all the creeps. Like, if they try to trade towers, the two of these guys can easily beat all 5 of OsG, and that'll be true for a very long time, frankly.
Yeah, what do you think StarLadder should do then? Just wait and farm it out, or try to find more fights?
I think they can actually win fights right now. What they want to do is probably wait for the BKB on Shadow Fiend. That's probably what they're waiting for. But once BKB hits on SF, they could definitely just go. Even so, if they get like a 3v3, I think they can usually take it. OD is still very strong relative to the field right now.
Yeah, and he is going for that first staff, of course, as well, which, by the way, got a bit of a... Well, it's not really a buff, it just got cheaper since the last patch. So
it got a ton of nerfs, so now he's rebuffing it a little bit.
And we are actually, like, if you want to try and fight right now, you of course need to know where your opponents are. I think that StarLadder's wards are not really that great position for what I think they should be wanting to do here. They only have some wards top. We do have a Beastmaster up on Fada, by the way. Courier is bringing it towards him right now, so you were indeed right. We'll have that initiation going for him. Mousesports are going to be happy with the things that they're doing right now. They're just farming it up. They're having the tower advantage. They have the push advantage. It is just up to StarLadder to reply to this and to just go in with it as well, as we see them trying to go for Synderen here. Judo looking for something, is not level 6 yet though, no swap and no stun range either. Tier 1 tower bottom ends up going down, and now Black is back on top of the net worth list with that gold.
Right. I don't think OsG are in terrible shape, but it's certainly a concern that they really can't really make anything happen right now across the map. In particular, I mean, I think Big Brain will finally get his Arcane Boots, so if he clears out this creep wave, which he will, that'll be that, and then... But that's tough. I mean, 17 minutes and you're just picking up your Arcanes. Blink is like a distant, distant dream for you at that point. So they're not happy about that. They're probably much happier about the way that the OD and the Shadow Fiend are doing.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, they will have to engage Mouz. I am intrigued. This is my first game seeing professional Shadow Fiends since the 6.78 changes. And I'm really interested by this damage reduction on the Requiem of Souls. If you land that on Gyro, that can really impact his flat cannon.
Yeah. We'll see. Oh, they're trying to chase someone down. They found someone. It is Fada. He's sitting in the restaurant prison. Here comes the ulti. And that is Fada running for his life. The haste rune is still there, but the stun, it follows up. Is there enough damage? I don't think so. Hell yeah, there is. Eclipse coming out from StarLadder's OD. And there goes the next one. It is Koikfa that they want. And he should be the one that they get as well. Another magic missile helping out, and a double kill going the way of the OD, who has got his 4 staff complete with that. Courier is bringing him towards him, and I think that, I mean, these are the kind of fights that StarLadder needs to take. They do have an OD and a Shadow Fiend. They look pretty nice in terms of carry potential. Still, when Black gets his BKB, it's not going to be easy for them to like go up against this late game, as Magnus actually goes down in the mid game all by his lonesome right there. Didn't use his RP luckily for StarLadder, but Synderen and Past, the 2 supports, will be able to take down a tier 2 tower with that. Exactly. And they only get a tier 1 in return.
Yeah, it's another rough trade for them. Really not... just not a great trade. Synderen in a lot of danger here, but I don't think Judo can spot him out. Wow. Black being very aggressive.
Yeah, he actually is able to kill off Judo though before he runs away from this one with his face boost that he has. He has got his BKB ready.
Haas picked up a Blink Dagger just from all that push, and the fact that, again, this is because StarLadder have been afraid to do big engagements. So Rubik has only died once, and they have 4 towers. So that's more than enough money for Rubik to save up for a Blink. Yeah. That's really, really good for them. Against Magnus, Blink Dagger is like your best pickup on Rubik.
Yeah, and we see that Leshrac is, or Synderen building towards the Bloodstorm most likely. Picked himself up a point booster. Might be just a casual point booster for now, because of course he is now the hard support. Leaving Past to go for a bit more utility hero, if you will. And Synderen will just save for it. Let's see if they get to that stage. So they are having a lot of map control going their way right now. With only 2 outer towers still left standing for StarLadder. StarLadder still looks okay if they can find a fight. But so far Mouz has been trying to avoid it. They've been caught out a couple of times, but they have constantly been able to take things in return for it.
Yeah. And Black now has Helm of the Dom for more farm, and Black King Bar. And this BKB is incredibly important for this game. Now, all of OsG's like much vaunted early game teamfight ability is kind of wasted on Black, because OD's damage won't work completely. Like, OD just hits a brick wall when his target has BKB, and Shadow Fiend can't deal any of that Shadow Rays damage to Black either. So it's like, Black is now not invulnerable, but much more difficult for Oslic to actually kill. They can only rely on Shadow Fiend's auto attack damage, which is not fantastic right now because he, of course, went BKB Rush as well. Like, it's good, but it's not so good that they can just kill Black very easily.
Yeah, and one thing that they also need to wait for then is just, well, if this game lasts for a bit longer, if they can't find their stroll pretty soon up against Mouzeport, they actually need to just hold on until that BKB is down to about 4 seconds.
Right, but that's
a long
6
way off.
fights.
Yeah, that's a long way off. You gotta try to
yeah.
bait it out, maybe, perhaps, but it's tough. But they need to hold on for that, and of course, 6 fights you can't lose while Gyrocopter uses his BKB, because every time that Mouzeport has been able to take something, they make it worth their while. I mean, we've got the tower pushing going so fast for Mouzeport with that Leshrac on the side.
The pushing and just the farming. Like, if you look at the last hits, Shadow Fiend only is tied with Fata on Beastmaster. Big Num's actually behind both Quakebot and Black, and you can see that in the graphs. Like, you've got a 4 kill advantage for Oslic, so anybody just looking at those numbers would be like, oh, you know, Oslic are winning. But the gold graph has been an almost uninterrupted climb towards Mousesports. So it's a position where the longer this goes and the more that Mouz are able to get more out of the map as far as farm goes, the tougher a position Oslic's going to find themselves in as the gyro spirals towards uncontrollability. Do you know if the damage reduction portion of Requiem goes through BKB? I assume it does.
I believe it does. Yes.
I'll look that up.
But yeah, I can't say it for 100% certain. Those technicalities are not my strongest suit, as many people will know. But I believe it does. Until said otherwise.
I assume so. That's the pattern. Usually damage will not go through, but any other component that's non-damage will.
Especially for ultimates.
That's what I mean about ultimates, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Mouzeport still happily farming. We now see some ancient stacking here done by Brain. Shadow Fiend can try to take them on later on. It's still not an easy thing to take though, especially not with a lot of stone golems here. That's gonna be annoying. No raises or anything like that, no extra text from Slander, but Mouzeport, you see what they're doing. Like they're kind of trying the choke strat now. We have got Cinnamon on the bottom lane. He's not really trying to farm, but he's making it known that he is here. We have got the top lane for Fada. Axis making sure that the lane constantly gets pushed out as well. Middle lane is for Pass. Well, of course, Gyro is still trying to farm as much as possible. Now picks up an invisibility rune, and oh, actually smoke up. They look for Syndrin. But if they leave, if they chase Syndrin down, it wouldn't be worth the smoke.
Yeah, not really.
Especially not with the
Leshrac is not
Invis
worth it. If they could get Black, that would be another story entirely. But he's got Invisrune.
He was
Oh,
walking
he's
right
sitting
next
on
to
a
sentries though.
nice. Oh man. Well, they're gonna bait the BKB at least.
Yep. Oh, wow, early. And they let him go, but that's at least a 10-second BKB gone. Wow.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Door.
I'm not sure it's the door. I think it's the door to rage that has been opened.
Yeah. The fuck, you're fighting against Mouse. You need to be on the ball. Play proper.
Oh man.
Don't
Well,
miss our
here's the
piece.
thing. Brain was trying to play. He went for something much more difficult. He wanted to hit the RP before Black could activate BKB. That's why he did it so tight to the end of the Astral Imprisonment. And unfortunately,
If it would have worked, it would have been brilliant.
yeah.
But there's another side to the coin, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the same as with if you try to steal Aegis's.
It's the same as Aegis's, yeah. You look like a total fool if you
If
fail.
you don't, but if you do, everybody's gonna cheer you on.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about that. Maybe Twitch chat will help me out, but I'm trying to look up documentation on the Requiem of Souls damage reduction. As far as I can tell, it is actually blocked, so I don't know.
Okay.
Because that's actually that's a major differentiator in this game, and I feel bad that I don't know. Because if Black BKBs, even if he blocks the damage, it's still worth it to use Requiem on him if the damage reduction goes through. Oh, and so Fata has, as we said, Fata actually keeping up with the farm of Bignum on Shadow Fiend, and that's getting him some good items as well. So he has Blink, and now he just finished his Necro 1. So that gives them initiation and push ability. They want to end this before us, like, can sort of just wait Black out in some respects. So I like what they're doing.
Yeah, they're gathering here bottom again. We're waiting still for the Blink Dagger from Brain right now. That's hurting them right now. They need to initiate. We already decided that they needed to find fights. But they can't really do that without a Blink Dagger on Brain.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. They badly need this blink. They're close, so they're currently giving him free farm in a lane, which is the smart move because he really, really, really needs that blink dagger. It's so late at this point.
Yeah, and the question is, will they get it in time? Still, to try and do something with it, to try and get...
Yeah, they'll get it, but the question is whether they can still kill Mouz even with that. I mean, BKB, Scary Gyro is really terrifying to deal with. He's got his Demon Edge, so building towards most likely MKB, which he'll have in about 1,500 more gold, and that'll come quick. Black's GPM right now is solid 500, which probably means that right now it's actually higher. It's probably closer to 600. So about 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes until that MKB is finished.
Yeah, and Beastmaster is a Demon Master as well. Third most popular carrier for Necronomicon, behind Lycan and Nature's Prophet. Of course, the Aura working on them as well. And yeah, just pushing all over.
Yeah, Mouz's push is just... Even if Oslic kill off a few members of Mouz, it's actually pretty hard for them to get a good push going, because they have great wave clear with the Shadow Fiend and the Magnus. Like, they can clear out a wave extremely quickly, but they have nobody that does appreciable damage to towers. I mean, Shadow Fiend does, kind of. Oh, here we go. Fata in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, and they want to go for him. There he goes. Goes for a Roar Steel with the vacuum into the wall, and actually OsG, they lose their StarLadder. They also lose their Vengeful Spirit, and that's going to be a tower to boot. There were 3 people there in total, but they didn't even need that. That wall with the vacuum and the roar helping out. Mouzspor is very confident that they were able to take that one.
Yep. Sorry. I mean, Mouz just effectively rotating over there, especially with Quakewa. That was a huge vac into wall. It was really, really nice as a counter initiation. And yeah, Shadow Fiend hits the deck. That actually, Fata living through that fight and getting those 2 kills takes him from Necro 1 to Necro 3. And now Mouz have a terrifying pushing presence. Like, even that pure damage return is going to be scary from the Necro 3s.
Okay, it does not go through BKB and it gets dispelled by BKB.
Oh. Well,
someone in chat says, Exo Neck Mac.
Okay, so Shadow Fiend not a great counter to Gyro then, unfortunately.
If he has his BKB on.
Yes, if he has
Or
BKB.
if he has it still off cooldown.
Yes.
Yes. We cannot hear you inside the game. That's not good. That was probably when I was disconnected.
That's to you, not to
yes.
me.
But I think I'll just toggle that on and off just to make sure. There we go. Fixed. Should be fixed. But yeah, I mean, this is trouble for OsG. For some reason, I'm sitting at 7-0.
It's
in terms
because
of skill, it's because
until they get a kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for now, I mean, they haven't had a kill in a while. They can't really find the openings, and when they think they do, they get countered in return. That was thought. Whoa, wow, Slender, careful there. Took the hit from that Necronomicon warrior. We have an MKB now up on Black. I mean, Mouzsport is having this under control, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, it's Big Num just tried to duel Fata 1v1, and the Shadow Fiend lost. He didn't die, but he was forced to retreat. And this is a 5-0-4 Shadow Fiend. He's been part of 100% of Oslic's kills, and he can't duel a Beastmaster. That's really scary if you're Oslic. Like, that experience is somewhat traumatic, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out if it fixed the Dota TV thing for me toggling it off and on. We do have the Roshan being attended by OsG. It's a typical DD thing to do, as you already pointed out in earlier games. If you're behind, you take Roshan, get ahead with the Aegis.
Just try to sneak the rush very, very quickly. Even if all 5 enemy players are up, you can, if you know that you have better vision of it, you can try to sneak it in. The thing is, you kind of telegraph it. Oh, now that they smoked, they know for sure. Man.
Access. Obi-Wan from the high ground gets picked off. Roshan not really a helping factor there with the bashes.
So I think they actually used that smoke to check Roche.
That's pretty nice.
So they used the smoke, and because it didn't apply, they knew that Oslic had to be close, i.e. they had to be inside the pit.
Let's see.
Oh, they totally got this Roche.
Yep. In the meantime, Roar goes up on Big Num while he's in his BKB. We have got the RP still off cooldown. The Blink Daggers, there's no vacuum into Darkseer Wall, though. There goes the RP up on Black, but where's the damage? He is in his BKB and nobody can hit him there. And Black takes himself the Magnus out, and the rest is running for their lives, with also Slammer already being brought down. Judo will fall next. Treant, of course, was already dead, and Big Nam was able to get himself away with the Shadow Blade, but
Dire's bottom tower is
that
under
is
attack.
Mouz just being very dominating with that BKB. I mean, you can't do anything to Black when he's in that BKB.
Dire's
You really
bottom
can't.
tower has
And can you tell people to go switch from other broadcasters back to this one to get myself back?
Sure, sure.
Dire's
Yeah, yeah.
bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, in game, like
Yeah, yeah. Oh, in game?
like they
In the
can hear
spectator
you,
chat?
they can't hear me, so you have to say it.
Oh, haha, well, people have to switch their broadcasters. I didn't understand what you meant, but yeah, if you want to hear Sheever, which you should, because if you're listening to this channel, I don't know why you would just listen to me, you should switch the broadcaster settings.
Dire's bottom barracks.
You just
Toggle them, rather.
Toggle them back to one, back to the other. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mouse taking a Rax.
Yeah, I mean, off of that fight, there was almost no way that Asa could defend that. And just in general right now, Asa can't really answer anything that Mouse is going to throw at them. They would require a much more ideal RP initiation, which they haven't gotten it yet. At any rate, so basically Slander, what he wants right now is the Scythe of Ice very, very badly, but even with Scythe of Ice on, it'll increase his damage, but not against BKB targets. And yeah, there we go, the duel again from Big
That's
Num
a
and Vata.
solo kill.
Yeah.
The Roar was of course there used. The economical units helping out a lot as well. And oh my god, that's the most brilliant steal ever. Rubik got himself the living armor.
Well, yeah, I actually like Astral Imprisonment more in this game than I like Living Armor, especially at 30 minutes. Living Armor, still great, but a little more lackluster after the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, we have indeed the sound fixed with that. That's awesome.
Good.
So, good. We do have Pus with a Blink and a Force Staff right now. I mean, Mousepurge is getting more farmed by the second Darkseer with Mech and Pipe, and now going for a Hex by the looks of it as well. Maybe even
Yeah.
a Shiva's Guard if he wants that. And Mousepurge are
They're-
just gonna rotate top, see if they can do something there. They find themselves ladder, telekinesis
Oh,
there.
man.
And he's gonna force up himself back, but is it gonna be enough? Yeah, it is. He is safe. But see this for how long? Because Mouseports, they're going in, I think. Actually, Creep is very far away.
They are. If they had Scepter for Fata, that would have been probably a kill, but he didn't have quite the range with Blink Dagger to get the roar off. But that's okay, because what he traded for no Aghanim's was Necro 3, which has done an incredible amount of work for him, actually. Even just the Necro mana burn has been effective, because he has the maxed aura, so those Necro creeps, I mean, they burn people's mana pretty effectively.
Yep. And we still, since I reconnected, we still haven't had a kill for OsG, so it's looking really
Yeah.
sad for where I'm sitting.
It looks like 12-0.
Yep.
Here we go. This is probably the push that determines whether this game ends or not.
Yeah, or where this gets delayed indeed. We are seeing Magnus with the Blink very far back, smoked up. He is the one that's supposed to be initiating for his team. Fada jumping forward, but can't get a range
No
for the
X.
roar, but the tier 3 already down.
Dire's top
Creep
tower
wave cleared out
is
now
under
as well, and they set themselves on the racks. Waiting for that RP, waiting for that Magnus. Can't find an opening. They find themselves nobody. They find themselves
Time's
Black.
running
The sun
short.
is there. If they can get in before BKBs, Black still not BKB. He has the Aegis. He still uses it. The Big Nom is already killed off right here. We have got Brain looking for something. He used the RP. Only finds Boss though, and has a one-on-one with him. The GG well played goes out. And in the end, OsG, they had a very strong early game after having that aggressive trial against them. Not making sure that Mouseport's aggressive trial didn't really work out, but the free farming Black was not something they could work up against. And in the
Yeah.
end, they didn't get any kills anymore since they got back.
Yeah, and that last fight Oslic just kind of got handled. Mouz knew the exact way to respond to every single move that Oslic made in that engagement. It was actually very impressive. Mouz just reacting to everything perfectly. Completely dominating that engagement and just, yeah, getting a 5-0 and the game. Mouz, a tiny bit of a rocky start, just because of the try versus try situation, but they knew that as long as Black, there was no counter argument to Black, the game would sooner or later fall in their favor, and that's basically what happened. Big Num, Slander, the two of them, collectively really unable to just take the game out in a meaningful way.
Yeah, it's not completely over for OsG just yet. They will still face up against Quantic later today. For Mousesports, of course, they have got one game left. They need to win it, and then hope that KP loses some games that they still have. But Mousesports, we're gonna see them again. This time they will be up against the CS team Z-Rage in just a moment. Probably a bit of a 10-minute break or so, but we'll be back right after this. Yeah, outro.